see another face.
Enough oxygen for the both of us. You okay?
I'm trying very hard not to die right now.
We have to make it to the habitat. It's our only chance of survival.
It starts with the mining spaceship Borealis flies through space with its crew asleep in cryopods, still 4 years away from their destination. Suddenly, an asteroid strikes the ship, damaging it and triggering an alarm in one of the pods. Andy wakes up, startled by a video of his family back on Earth. The ship's AI alerts him to a hull breach and activates the survival system. Mechanical arms quickly assemble a special suit around Andy, equipped with limited oxygen and its own AI. The ship's emergency system ejects all the cryopods. Most drift away safely, but some get caught in explosions as parts of the ship catch fire. The robot arms finish building Andy's helmet just before his pod's thrusters fire. As the pods enter a nearby planet's atmosphere, the strong gravitational pull causes them to fall dangerously fast. Some pods ignite and explode. Andy's pod deploys its wings, but they break apart, and the pod loses its thrusters, plummeting uncontrollably. The pod hits an elevated terrain and crashes, sliding down the hard ground for a few seconds before stopping against a pile of dirt. Andy, unconscious, briefly envisions his family before waking up. The AI mistakes his reaction for a heart attack and activates the defibrillator, but Andy quickly deactivates it. He looks out the window and sees he's stranded in a deserted area. He tries the radio, but no one responds.
Ident number 0725E. Anyone out there?
Suddenly, the pod shifts, and the AI warns him about unstable terrain, urging him to leave. Andy tries to open the pod, but the door doesn't budge. Frustrated, he checks the survival kit and finds it lacks a flare gun because of his low rank. Kicking the door fails, so he uses a fire extinguisher to break the glass. As he climbs out, the pod tips over, sending him back inside. The broken glass tears his suit, causing him to lose oxygen. Andy uses a repair spray to seal the damage. Moments later, the engine short circuits, sparking a small fire behind the seat. Andy grabs his son's toy, shovels dirt to clear a path, and escapes the smoky pod just in time. Andy sees the Borealis on fire, crashing from the sky and exploding on impact with the planet. The shockwave knocks him down, but he quickly gets back up and asks the AI for information. He learns the ship only made it halfway through its journey and landed in uncharted territory. Spotting a distant light, Andy heads toward it, trying to contact others on the radio. After some time, he finds half of the burning Borealis near a pod. Inside, he grabs an oxygen tank, but is startled when the body of a crew member falls out. Examining the tank, he realizes it's broken and leaves without noticing the blood and slashes on the pod's exterior. Minutes later, he comes across SOS lights surrounded by strong winds. Dwayne, another survivor, set this up after scavenging some equipment. Dwayne reveals he checked the NAV log and discovered the company had taken a shortcut through an asteroid belt to save fuel, which stranded them in this unknown area. He's trying to send an SOS message to Earth, but it will take 8 months to arrive, and rescuers won't reach them for 2 years with a fast ship. Dwayne is losing hope and is already considering using the others as food for survival. Dwayne suggests they might survive in the other half of the Borealis.
Relay our position to Earth so we can get a rescue pod out here before we get used to drinking each other's urine.
As he steps back, Andy accidentally unplugs the machine and turns to fix it. At that moment, a mysterious creature jumps in, grabs Dwayne, and disappears without a trace. When Andy turns back, he realizes he's alone. After sending a message to Earth, Andy grabs Dwayne's gun. The AI warns him that his oxygen levels are low, so he asks it to set a route to the largest Borealis piece and starts walking, constantly checking the radio for other survivors. He eventually reaches the edge of a cliff, where the AI admits its system is malfunctioning. Frustrated, Andy screams while thinking about his family. Then he hears a noise on the radio. Another survivor, Naomi, contacts him, The signal is poor, and Andy moves around until he can hear her clearly. Naomi explains she's stuck in her pod. She checked the crew's trackers and found that only she, Andy, and Dwayne survived. She sends her location, but the AI warns Andy that the area is unstable and his oxygen might not last long enough to reach her. Andy hesitates, but Naomi convinces him, saying she has enough oxygen for both of them for a few hours. As they chat, Andy hears a strange noise and asks the AI to scan the area, but the function doesn't work. Naomi reveals that his AI model was discontinued, another cost-cutting move that jeopardized crew safety. By nightfall, Andy carefully navigates through the darkness with his helmet light, which isn't very strong. He freezes when he thinks he sees something, but dismisses it as his imagination. Moments later, rocks roll near his feet, and he grows nervous as more noises echo around him. He doesn't notice a shadow watching him from above. He spots strange holes in the ground and follows them to a larger hole covered in cobwebs. Realizing the smaller holes are paw prints, Andy panics and picks up his pace. As he moves, he notices more cobwebs around him. Snow begins to fall, and the noises sound like growling. Something big rushes past, and Andy quickly hides, turning off his helmet light. Naomi alerts him that her scanner shows multiple crew trackers heading toward him, but none are responding. Andy links the AI to the trackers, and signals appear around him instantly. Naomi tells him the signals are right in front of him, but he sees nothing. A flare shoots into the air, revealing a giant spider nearby. The creature swallowed the trackers after eating the crew. Dwayne's gun fails, so Andy screams and runs. The spider leaps at him, and he falls into a crack in the ground. He looks up to see the spider reaching in, trying to grab him. Terrified, Andy keeps running as the spider chases him from above, occasionally slashing at him. He dodges every attack, but loses focus and falls off a cliff. The fall is painful, but the snow cushions his landing. The spider roars from above, but doesn't follow him down. Andy panics until Naomi warns him his oxygen levels are dropping. A tear in his suit from the fall is to blame. Andy seals the tear with the last of his spray. Just then, Dwayne's voice comes over the radio, asking for help as he battles a swarm of spiders. Naomi urges Andy to help, but he hesitates, scared, and without a working scanner. He changes his mind when Naomi reminds him Dwayne has oxygen.
Andy, you desperately need oxygen.
No.
Maybe he can help you. Maybe...
Questionable.
We need all the help we can get, Andy, all right? We've got to stick together.
Andy runs toward the crash pods, following Dwayne's flares. He finally reaches Dwayne, who tries to share the spider's weakness, but a spider attacks him before he can finish. Andy hides and hears Dwayne's death over the radio. Moving to another pod for cover, Andy discovers a second spider feeding on crew members. Naomi distracts one spider by activating lights and the AI voice in a pod, giving Andy time to hide in another pod. She tries to distract the second spider, but accidentally lights up Andy's pod, startling him with a body inside. Naomi quickly activates all the pods, distracting both spiders and allowing Andy to escape. The monsters eventually realize the trick and pursue him, but they freeze when he enters a foggy area. Andy tells Naomi to find safety too, but she reveals she can't feel her legs. Andy notices she's having a panic attack, so he sings a song he used to sing for his son to calm her down.
He took a shovel and smashed their head. If there's monsters in the bathroom or behind the door.
Afterward, he moves on and encounters a swarm of fireflies, creating a breathtaking scene with their glowing lights. One firefly lands on his helmet, turns red, and attacks him. Though it can't hurt him alone, the other fireflies soon turn red and attack as a group. Andy runs a short distance and escapes, but a growling noise suggests the fireflies were fleeing from something bigger. Suddenly, the ground splits open, and a giant monster emerges, its massive mouth capturing Andy and covering him in a sticky substance that immobilizes him. The beast begins swallowing him inch by inch until he's entirely inside its mouth. Remembering his AI, Andy declares he's having a heart attack. The AI activates a defibrillator, delivering a powerful electric shock that forces the monster to spit him out. Furious, the creature lunges at Andy, who scrambles to hide in what looks like a tree trunk. Inside, a hole causes him to fall into a firefly nest. The alien fireflies immediately turn red and attack him, poking him as he runs through the tunnel. They stop chasing him only after he escapes the nest. The AI informs Andy that his oxygen level is just enough to reach the Borealis, but not enough to save Naomi. Despite Naomi urging him to go to the ship, Andy refuses to give up and sprints toward her. Soon, flames from the crash surround him, and the smoke makes it hard to breathe. He collapses but musters the strength to keep moving and finally reaches Naomi's pod. She opens the door, letting him in so he can breathe again. Andy tries to free her trapped leg, but his hands aren't strong enough. Luckily, Naomi's emergency kit contains tools, and Andy uses one to get her unstuck. Though she feels some pain, her leg isn't broken. After a brief rest, they grab a flare gun and repair spray before heading out. Naomi struggles to walk, so Andy makes a splint to support her. As she examines Dwayne's gun, a swarm of spiders creeps toward them. They run, with Naomi asking her suit AI to inject her with medicine to numb the pain in her leg. The spiders pursue them, but they manage to reach the other half of the Borealis, which appears to be in good condition. The duo runs as fast as they can. Naomi stumbles and falls, so Andy helps her slide down to move faster. The spiders close in, ready to jump, while the duo pushes crash debris to block their path. The barricade collapses, and they fall too. A spider lunges at them, but Naomi fires a flare, distracting it. She shoots another flare to divert the rest of the spiders, giving them time to run up the hill and enter the Borealis. Inside, Naomi struggles with the control panel as the spiders pound on the door. One spider almost gets in, but Naomi finally seals the door, crushing the creature. The other spiders continue hammering on the door, while Naomi and Andy inspect their surroundings. They find significant damage but notice the backup generator is still working. The cargo hold contains supplies in a stable atmosphere, ensuring they can survive until help arrives. While exploring, they spot a blood trail leading to the main console, which is smeared with guts and covered in cobwebs. As they follow it, a large spider appears, spilling human remains and even a helmet from its stomach. The sight makes Andy gag, but he forces himself not to vomit. The duo hides until the spider leaves. They move cautiously, but a hatch suddenly opens, and a larger monster drops down. Andy slams the door shut, trapping them in an airlock. Naomi scolds him, pointing out they're now stuck. The spider pounds on one door, while Andy futilely hits the other with a tool. Out of options, they sit and prepare for the worst. Andy plays a video of his family, confessing they died in a car crash he was driving, leaving him with survivor guilt. Naomi reminds him she's alive because of him, scolding him for giving up. They hug, believing it's their final moments. Suddenly, Naomi notices an orb of glowing fireflies stuck to Andy's suit. As the spider breaks in, they throw the orb at it. The fireflies swarm the creature, forcing it to retreat. The duo uses the distraction to open another door and sprint to the cargo bay. There, they stop short on an elevated platform. The spider shakes off the fireflies and charges at them. Unable to close the door, they jump off the platform to evade the attack, landing in the cargo bay just as the spider crashes down with them. The monster quickly recovers and chases after them again. Andy throws his spray directly into its mouth. The creature bites down on it, causing an explosion on its face, giving Andy and Naomi a chance to escape. The spider climbs onto the ceiling to reach them faster and leaps, landing right behind them. Both fall to the ground, but Naomi quickly gets up and runs, luring the creature away while telling Andy to find a way to kill it. Andy notices some pods in the cargo bay and asks his AI to locate a functioning one. The AI identifies one at the very top. Andy climbs as fast as he can to reach the upper platform. Meanwhile, the spider strikes Naomi. Andy turns off the lights, allowing Naomi to hide inside a box undetected. Inside the box, she finds some emergency lights. When Andy tries to eject the pod, the AI informs him it's impossible without power. Realizing he must do it manually, he enters the pod and connects his AI to it. Naomi emerges from the box with emergency lights wrapped around her, drawing the spider's attention. Andy looks at his son's toy, says goodbye to his AI, and waits for the perfect moment to eject the pod. A memory of a car crash flashes through Andy's mind as the pod crashes down onto the monster, killing it at last. Naomi rushes to Andy, crying, thinking he's dead. After her desperate pleas, Andy wakes up, alive and unharmed. The two hold hands and walk to the window, watching the sunrise together. And that's how the movie ends. What did you think of this movie? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and press the bell icon for more amazing videos. See you next time.